If you want to know why your teeth turn the color of old ivory even though you brush twice a day, stop looking at your toothpaste and stop blaming coffee. Look instead at the thin film your mouth makes overnight, the one your grandmother knew how to lift before sunrise. Come sit with me for a moment, baby. I want to share something with you. My grandmother never had yellow teeth. Not at 50, not at 70, not the morning she passed at 91 with a smile that looked carved from Riverstone. And in our village in the Futa Jalan, none of the old women did. This was not luck, and it was not some secret herb you cannot find. It was three things sitting on a kitchen shelf, mixed into a paste, and applied the old way. The reason most folks over 60 have given up on their smile is not because their teeth are beyond help. It is because the pharmacy aisle sold them the wrong solution for a problem that was never about whitening in the first place. Your doctor will not bring this up. It is not in a tube. It is not covered by insurance. And most dentists are paid to sand your enamel, not strengthen it. My name is Mama Aisha Diallo, and for over 40 years, I have served my people here in Atlanta through the plant medicine my grandmother taught me in the highlands of Guinea. The old ones always said that the mouth is the gate of the body, and what lives there decides what lives inside you. The modern researchers are only now catching up to this. They call it the oral microbiome, and they have connected its health to inflammation, heart function, and even how well your gut processes food. My grandmother did not need a white coat to know this. She knew because she watched what happened to the ones who lost their teeth early and to the ones who kept theirs until the end. In our hills, 5 generations of women in my family have used this paste. 5. My great great grandmother, my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, and me. And across those generations, I have not seen one woman in my direct line lose her teeth to decay or stain. Researchers came through West Africa in the 80s with their notebooks, and they found that rural communities who used traditional plant cleaning had significantly lower rates of gum disease than urban populations with modern toothpaste. The laboratories confirmed what our grandmothers knew with their own eyes. The contrast is not between this paste and some expensive whitening strip. The contrast is between this paste and the sanding tools and peroxide gels that strip your enamel thinner every time. Now, one of the 3 ingredients is going to surprise you. 9 out of 10 folks who hear this recipe get the order wrong, and the order is everything. Each ingredient prepares your mouth for the next. Stay with me to the end because if you skip ahead, you will miss the step that makes the whole thing work. Before we go further, leave me a comment. Tell me your age and tell me how long it has been since you felt good about your smile. I read every single comment on this channel, and your answers shape the videos I make next. In this video, I am going to walk you through the 3 ingredient paste my grandmother made before sunrise. I will show you the specific mineral that actually pulls stain from deep in the enamel. I will tell you the kitchen oil that your great-grandmother used for gum strength long before any dentist taught it. I will share the small green leaf that holds the whole thing together and calms the tissue. And the master step, the single most important thing I can share with you after 60, the one that turns a simple paste into something your teeth have been waiting for. Before I continue, can I ask you a small favor, my children? Many folks tell me they have watched 3 or 4 of my videos and only then realized they were not subscribed. Subscribing takes 2 seconds. It costs you nothing, and it helps me reach more grandmothers and grandfathers who have been told their smile is beyond saving. That is the only reason I ask. Let me show you why common solutions have failed our people. The whitening strips you buy at the pharmacy use peroxide gels that sit on the surface of the tooth. They bleach the outer layer, but do nothing to the actual cause of discoloration, which sits deeper. Worse, they pull moisture and minerals from your enamel, which is the very thing that makes teeth look yellow in the first place. When enamel thins, the yellow layer underneath, called dentin, shows through. So the whitening aisle actually makes older teeth look more yellow over time, not less. My grandmother would have shaken her head and asked who thought to solve a problem by making it worse. The paste itself has 3 ingredients: baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, extra virgin coconut oil, and crushed fresh mint or parsley leaf. Each one does a specific job, and the job comes from real chemistry that our grandmothers observed long before any chemist named it. Baking soda is mildly alkaline. The mouth after sleep becomes acidic, and acid is what softens enamel and feeds the bacteria that cause stain. When you introduce a gentle alkaline mineral, it neutralizes that acid environment the way a handful of wood ash neutralizes spoiled water in the old well. It is not abrasive like the pumice in commercial whitening toothpaste. It dissolves the film without scratching the enamel underneath. For folks over 60, this matters more than it did at 30. Your enamel thins naturally with age, and research from a dental school in London followed adults over 65 and found that those using abrasive whitening pastes lost measurable enamel within 18 months. The old monks of the Himalayas, who my teacher spoke of, did not need that study. They had cleaned their teeth with ash and salt for centuries and still smiled with strong teeth into their 90s. Coconut oil is the second ingredient, and this is where my grandmother was 100 years ahead of the dentists. There is an old practice from India called oil pulling, where you swish oil through your mouth to draw out bacteria. Coconut oil contains something called lauric acid, which disrupts the cell walls of the bacteria that cause plaque and bad breath. The oil also coats the gum line, soothing the tissue that pulls back with age and exposes the yellow root of the tooth. When gums recede, teeth look longer and more yellow. Coconut oil used daily helps the gum hold its place. And the third ingredient, the one that surprises most folks, is a small handful of fresh mint leaves or parsley crushed to release the green juice. This is not for freshness. This is the secret that holds the whole thing together. The chlorophyll in the green leaf binds to the sulfur compounds that bacteria release, which is one of the primary causes of the gray-yellow cast on aging teeth. It also calms inflamed gum tissue. My grandmother would gather mint from behind her kitchen every morning before the sun rose because the juice was strongest at that hour. Let me tell you about someone who came to me last year. Her name was Dorothy, 74 years old, a retired librarian from Savannah, Georgia. She came to me embarrassed. She said she had not smiled in photographs for 11 years because her teeth had gone the color of weak tea. She had tried 3 different whitening kits, and her dentist had told her at her age there was not much more to do besides veneers, which she could not afford. What was overlooked was that her gums had receded significantly, and the dentist was treating a symptom while ignoring the oral terrain entirely. I taught her the paste. I told her to use it every morning for 12 weeks. By week 10, she sent me a photograph. Her teeth were visibly lighter, and more than that, her gums were pink and firm again. She told me, "Mama Aisha, I laughed out loud yesterday for the first time in years, and I did not put my hand over my mouth. I want you to understand something, my children. Please speak to your dentist about gum recession before using any home preparation, because each mouth is different, and some conditions need professional eyes. Here is how to make the paste. Take 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of extra virgin coconut oil that has been warmed between your palms so it is soft, and a small pinch of fresh mint or parsley that you have crushed between your fingers until the juice comes out green on your skin. Mix them together in a small wooden bowl or ceramic dish. Never metal because the minerals react. The paste should be soft, not runny. If it is too dry, add a drop more coconut oil. Now the application. This is where the order matters. First, rinse your mouth with warm water only. Do not use any commercial mouthwash first because the alcohol in them dries the tissue you are about to work on. Then take a soft toothbrush, the softest you can find, and scoop a small amount of the paste onto it. Brush gently in small circles for 2 full minutes. Do not scrub. The paste does the work, your hand only moves it. After 2 minutes, do not spit yet. Swish the paste around your mouth for another 1 minute, letting the coconut oil pull through the gaps between your teeth. Then spit, but spit into a tissue and throw it away. Never into the sink because the oil hardens in the pipes. Rinse with warm water. That is it. In the first week, you will notice your breath is cleaner and your gums feel firmer. By the 3rd week, the surface stain starts to lift. By week 6 to 8, you will see real change in the color. By 12 weeks, you will have the smile you thought was gone. There are three supporting habits that make this paste work even better. The first is to stop using commercial whitening toothpaste on the other end of the day. Use a simple fluoride-free herbal toothpaste in the evening instead, or just a wet brush with a drop of coconut oil. The abrasives in whitening pastes undo the remineralization the baking soda supports. The second is to drink your coffee and tea through a straw. My grandmother drank her Bissap hibiscus through a hollow reed, and she said it was to keep the color out of her teeth. She was right. The third is to chew on raw celery or apple after meals. The fiber and the water content scrubs the teeth gently and stimulates saliva, which is your mouth's own natural cleaning system, the cleaning crew it has had since birth. Now let me pause because my neighbors and the folks who come to my kitchen ask me what I take alongside the practices I teach. Everything I have shared with you today works on the body you live in. But here is the truth. The mouth is the first gate and the gut is the second. If the terrain inside is weak, the work you do on the outside can only carry you so far. The bacteria in your mouth and the bacteria in your belly talk to each other every day. That is why I recommend BoochBod, a kombucha gummy I have landed on after years of looking. It has three things working together: prebiotics to feed the good bacteria, probiotics with a strain called lactospore that survives the journey down, and postbiotics, which are the healing compounds the bacteria actually produce. They include a clinically studied postbiotic called Postbiotics LM1004, and the formula carries dandelion root, the same bitter root my grandmother pulled from the hills behind our kitchen for liver support. It is a gummy, not a pill, which matters for many of my folks who struggle with capsules. Over 30,000 people are already using it daily. The link is in the description. And please speak to your doctor before starting any supplement. Now, let me give you the most important piece of this whole teaching. This is the master step. After you apply the paste and before you rinse the final time, take your finger, clean, and gently massage your gums in small circles from the base of the tooth toward the crown. My grandmother called this waking the gum. What it does is stimulate blood flow to tissue that has slowly lost circulation with age. A study I read from a dental research institute in Japan followed adults over 60 who added 2 minutes of daily gum massage to their routine, and they found improvement in gum density and color over 6 months. The old healers back home only smiled when they heard this. They had been waking the gum for as long as anyone could remember. I watched my own mother do this every morning until she passed at 88 with every tooth in her mouth. One patient of mine, a woman named Beatrice from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, added the gum massage to her paste routine and told me her dentist asked her what she had been doing differently because her gum measurements had improved significantly in one visit. She was 81 years old. She cried a little telling me about it. Here are 3 things I want you to know after 40 years of watching what actually works in real kitchens with real folks. First, do this paste in the morning, never at night. Saliva production drops at night, and the paste works best when your mouth is waking up and producing moisture. Second, consistency matters more than intensity. 5 minutes every morning beats 30 minutes twice a week. My grandmother said the river that runs every day wears stone. The river that runs sometimes wears nothing. Third, quality of ingredients matters. Use aluminum-free baking soda. Use cold-pressed organic coconut oil, not refined. Use fresh mint or parsley, never dried. The juice is the medicine, and dried leaves have lost it. There are 3 common mistakes folks make with this paste. The first is scrubbing hard because they think more pressure means more cleaning. It does the opposite. Hard brushing with baking soda wears enamel. Let the paste work, not your hand. The second is spitting into the sink, which hardens and clogs pipes over time. Spit into a tissue. The third is rinsing with mouthwash right after. The alcohol undoes the calming work the coconut oil just did on your gums. Rinse with plain warm water only. Now let me speak to your heart for a moment. This is not only about a smile. When you feel good about your smile, you laugh more. When you laugh more, your grandchildren remember you laughing. When you meet the eyes of an old friend across a Sunday table, you do not hide your mouth. The mornings in the garden, the photographs at the birthday party, the phone call from the daughter who asks how you are. All of these are touched by whether you feel good in your own skin. It is never too late. Your teeth at 70, at 75, at 80 can still brighten. Your gums can still strengthen. Your body has not stopped being the body that can heal. You are the one driving this, my children, and you always have been. Let me lock it in for you. Baking soda to lift the film without scratching, coconut oil to calm the gum and pull the bacteria, fresh mint or parsley for the chlorophyll that binds the stain, the gum massage with a clean finger to wake the tissue underneath. 3 ingredients, one paste, one master step, applied every morning before your first sip of water. If this was useful to you, please subscribe so I can keep sharing what my grandmother taught me. Share this with your sister, your oldest friend, anyone over 60 who has stopped smiling in photographs. And leave me a comment. Tell me which part surprised you most, the mint leaf or the gum massage. I read every single comment on this channel. The BoochBod link is in the description whenever you are ready to take a look. Go in peace, my children, and may your mornings be full of light.